Pangolins, elephants, rhinos. They might live far from the UK, but in London today, that's what's being talked about. A two-day international conference on the illegal wildlife trade hosted by the UK government is kicking off this morning. Last night, British Princes William and Harry were out in support of the cause at a reception in St James's Palace. The conference is intended to be a step towards reducing the illegal wildlife trade and saving species like elephants from extinction. Have a listen to what Prince William had to say to open the conference.
This is a global summit because the urgent challenge of the illegal wildlife trade is one we face as a global community. This crime continues to hamper sustainable development, undermine the rule of law, and deprive local communities of some of their most valuable natural resources. And of course, it threatens some of the world's most iconic species with the very real prospect of extinction from the wild.
Well, joining me live from the city of Kota Kinabalu in Malaysian Borneo is Will Foster Grundy. Lovely to have you on the programme this morning. You film some of the most vulnerable animals that are being talked about in this conference today. Just give us an idea of what you've seen as part of that filming, how bad it gets.
Sure, yeah. So my job here in Borneo is to make conservation films, specifically, of course, about endangered wildlife. Those are the ones that are in the most need and under the most threat. And I had an amazing experience last year where I got the opportunity to film a pangolin that had been rescued from potential the illegal wildlife trade, which was potentially going to be sent abroad and the scales used for traditional medicine and butchered. And it was intercepted by a team of wildlife authorities who then passed it on to a team of research scientists. Now, these scientists fitted a GPS tag to this pangolin and have since managed to get crucial data which can help protect and conserve this incredibly vulnerable species.
In terms of the actual illegal wildlife trade that's going on and those people on the ground tackling it, how dangerous is it working against what can be poachers, what can be quite coordinated networks?
No, absolutely. I'm sure it is. I mean, as in my role, I'm normally following the lead of these authorities who are trained to sometimes almost a military level to be able to intercept the poaching networks and the trade networks. As you say, this is run by, for want of a better word, gangsters. This is a massive organized criminal network thought to be worth $23 billion annually. This is not something that you enter into lightly, and certainly even when bringing a camera, you do have to be wary of potential repercussions of shedding light on such issues.
And a conference in London kicking off today is all very well, but do you think that will have the impact required in far-flung places like where you are now?
I mean, potentially. Firstly, I think it's brilliant that this is being brought to the forefront of global discussions. This wildlife trade has grown rapidly in the last 10 years, but very little has been actively done to try and reduce it. So I think that it's brilliant that it's being discussed, but as long as those discussions don't focus specifically on new sanctions or increased fines or legislation of that sort, I think the focus must be on how to reduce the demand for these products. Because by reducing the demand for the illegal wildlife, be it in body parts used for traditional medicine or live animals used in the pet trade, by reducing that demand, you really do reduce the problem entirely, and there's no need to up jail times or fines for people caught up in it.
Will, thank you very much. It's really great to get your view on this. Will Foster Grundy, a filmmaker in Borneo there. Well, thank you.